But yes, when it comes to the big overall story with AEW, what are they going to do right now? Because coming out of Forbidden Door, we've got a lot of injuries for AEW. Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland here, in particular, they're due to miss significant time due to injuries. These two, not to mention with Will Ospreay's neck, and I think Swerve might have been a knee or a back. I can't remember exactly which one it was. His knee. I know that's what he was selling for sure. And then, of course, Kenny Omega, obviously, he's not – I don't know if he's going to miss a ton of time, but he's going to be on a reduced schedule at the very least from the sounds of things. He was talking on social media this week that he'll probably still be at Dynamite this week. I think he's going to team up with Kota Ibushi for something. But that notwithstanding – I don't know if it's just kind of still recovering from that or just because he's kind of winding down his career a little bit. Just all these, matches over the years just kind of catching up to him a little bit. I don't quite know. But either way, he doesn't sound like he's 100%. And then, of course, on top of that, you got Adam Cole, who's going to be missing lots of – we don't even know if or when he's coming back due to his concussion issues or whatever it may be. We don't know the full extent of his injury. So the question becomes with AEW right now, to Brandon's credit, who is going to step up in their absence on the babyface side in particular? So I think it is definitely time.
Not him. You
don't think it's him? You don't think? Well, here's the thing. I say, but especially when it comes to the babyface side of it, it's time for the new blood to step up. But the way they've been building Danny Garcia right now, I think he's turning heel soon because especially the way he's been reacting to losing as of late. So I think he's going to go heel. So I think he's out on the babyface side, unless they decide to switch course and keep him babyface because of the injury issues. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But is there anything else besides that, or you just think it's because he was going to turn heel, or is it you just don't see it?
Danny Garcia, look, it was like who could I use it comparatively to in WWE? Who they were late on, and like with Roman in the beginning, they were trying to push him to be this big baby face, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't happening. And then the time they could have was that Royal Rumble, but Batista won that Rumble. And it was like you missed the boat on Roman. Same thing with Daniel Garcia. He had a moment when coming out of that whole Jericho Appreciation Society.
I think so.
He was hot. And it was, but then they didn't do anything. Like nothing happened. And then he did get the win. He did get the title. But then he on Collision.
Yeah, well,
it just didn't matter.
I don't care if he's on Collision. Collision's a fine show. It's just the problem was when he was a TNT champion, they really didn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? It was kind of like he's the champion, and he had matches here and there, but they really didn't do anything storyline wise. Yeah.
And then it kind of fizzed out, and then they tried to redo it again with him and
Daddy Magic.
Just said his name. No, Adam Cole. But then this thing with Adam Cole,
then Cole happened.
All that shit.
Again, so part of that's not under control. Yeah.
But then it's like again, it's that hot and cold thing, right? He's hot, then he's cold, then he's hot, cold, but then eventually the crowd's just not going to care about Daniel Garcia. So now you have to do something else with him to try to get that interest back again. And I think you're right in the whole heel thing. But then it still leaves this big ass gap in the babyface world for AEW, like outside of Darby Allin, and now he's wrapped up with this whole. Hell, you don't even have Orange Cassidy right now.
Well, I'm going to get into that. Hold on a second. But yeah, when it comes to Daniel Garcia, though, he just had this outstanding match with Moxley on Dynamite this last week. Apparently tonight on Collision, he's challenged Moxley to a rematch. That match with Moxley he was being put over by Mox during that match. Not only that, Mox even went up to him after the match, kind of got in his head like, yo, you're going to be fine. Just keep plugging along, giving him that vote of confidence as a heel even. So it was a little out of character for Moxley. So I think they did a good job of building Garcia in that. Now, the question is going to become if they push Garcia again, you can't stop. You're going to have to go full bore with it. You know what I mean? You can't, if things get cold, you got to keep going. I don't know, but it sounds like they're going to renew that push a little bit with Garcia. But again, it's the heel factor. Does he become a heel? Does he join Moxley and his crew at this point? I don't know. That's a potential.
And that's another thing. There are too many groups now, and they're getting too damn big.
And you can say that about every company.
The Don Callis family is massive. And there's a lot of guys in the Don Callis family who would be great singles-wise. One that just came back, Wardlow. He came back to a huge pop, but you just stuck him with the Don Callis family.
Where's you going to put him, though?
For what reason?
Well,
you're not put him anywhere. If anything,
at least Wardlow being with the Don Callis family, to me, is you're setting him up with some guys like Fletcher and Takeshita and some of these guys who are actually pretty over right now. And two of these guys I'm going to mention here in just a second as big guys you should push to the moon right now with the injuries. So Wardlow kind of slotting in there. Hopefully we'll kind of get him back in the flow of it for the time being. Now, obviously, you could break him off and a Batista breaks away from the Evolution type situation one of these days if he gets to that point. But right now, you can't just bring him in ice cold and be like, all right, you're world champion material, especially with a guy like Wardlow who you started and stopped on like 5 or 6 times in the past. Speaking of starting and stopping. So I just don't know where else you could have put him. But yeah, I mean,
put him.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to put him really anywhere. Like the guy could put a microphone. So you don't need Don Callis for that. Like I said, the crowd erupted when he showed up. He's been off of TV for so long. And I know he was doing the gladiator thing too, and that was probably part of it. But him just coming back was already enough. You didn't need to go anywhere. And again, Don Callis family, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
A lot.
7 guys.
At least, maybe more.
And right now, you're only focusing on Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita. Well, Okada. But then there's 3 others that are just kind of there. Takeshita should have been the only one. Well, I guess if you want to leave Kyle Fletcher, that should have been it. Right? But Takeshita is starting to step out of that. Like, he's overlapping the Don Callis family.
Yeah, I think they're going to turn Takeshita babyface because him and Okada, especially like you called weeks ago, him and Okada are kind of they're not long for this group together. And I think Okada is going to end up being the one with the Don Callis family and Takeshita, especially coming off winning the G1 climax in New Japan. I think he's definitely slotted up to have that big babyface run and potentially setting up that match with the unified champion of Okada. So I definitely see that. And of course, Fletcher is another one on my list here as a guy that they need to push. Now, he's not going to be a babyface, but he's definitely a guy that they need to be putting on the forefront of the AEW roster, no doubt about it. But some other guys I'd like to kind of highlight here. Obviously, Darby Allin, you mentioned a little bit earlier. That's a guy who's now back from Mount Everest, so I think it's definitely time to put him, going forward. He's definitely got his issues with the Moxley and the Death Riders right now, so I think that makes a lot of sense to push him in that main event level. We just got Hook return as well, I believe, at Forbidden Door. It was within the last week or so. So he's definitely back. Another guy who I kind of feel like they should probably strap the rocket to just a little bit. Still a little bit green in some respects, but I think you could do some stuff with him. Mark Briscoe, which, by the way, speaking of congratulations earlier, Mark Briscoe, congratulations to him and his family on having their new little one as well. So good for Mark. He even cut a promo with his newborn on Dynamite this week. But they've been setting up Mark Briscoe. Tiny little baby, but good for them. I'm pretty sure it's a daughter.
I said the same thing, but it's just big. Like,
yeah.
Does the baby just look that small because he's so big, or
that could be?
Little. You may be right there. Yeah.
I'm not sure, right. But it was funny. Like, he cut the promo kind of quiet, then he handed the baby off. Then he went into a little bit more crazy Mark Briscoe, but it was pretty hilarious. So congratulations to him as well. But like I said, though, in weeks, like over the last month or more, they've really been pushing Mark Briscoe as like the top babyface at times. Do you think he could like literally take over a top babyface role? I know a lot of people kind of look at him as the tag team guy at one point, but they've been doing a pretty good job of furthering him, I think. Right, yeah.
They could, but it's just if his end goal isn't to be champion, if their end goal for him not to be champion, but to be like, I don't know. I would personally like to see it. Because again, I'm a huge, Briscoe brothers fan. So like I'd like to see it, but is it the same value? You get what I'm saying? They hold the same value. Is it could just be that good baby face, but chases the title but never gets it, then there's no payoff there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. They've been putting him in like top feuds, so I don't know. I mean, I think it could work, but
it could work, and I mean it'd be huge. But if your goal isn't that, then I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
what are you going to do with them afterwards?
Well, I guess let's kind of, again, it's one of those deals. It's like you strap the rocket to one of these guys. Like I said, I think you got to follow through. You can't be like, and then pull back. I mean,
Yeah.
not only that, if you don't,
that's been
it has.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But
Go ahead.
no, it has. But I just think it's just like, and I get like maybe if something ain't working or whatever, but at some point you got to commit. You know what I mean? Speaking of committing, I know you said Orange Cassidy's not there. Yes, but he was just recently, as of this week, I believe, cleared for return. So as of right now, it sounds like Orange Cassidy is expected to return somewhat soon from surgery to repair a torn pec that he had back in March. So it could be any day now. It sounds like they're waiting on creative to come up with something. And once that's the case, he should be back on our television. So that's another guy I think who is definitely over enough. Hopefully his body's been able to rest and hopefully heal a little bit because he was going full bore there for a long time, defending, I think it might have been the TNT champ, but anyway, he was defending the international championship over and over and over again. So not only that, another guy ready to come back from injury is Eddie Kingston. It sounds like he is officially in the gym and in the ring, working out for a return. So that could potentially happen before the end of the year as well. And he was definitely over, and he has definitely no love lost for guys like Moxley. Of course, they were friends and stuff as well, but they've also been bitter enemies. So people like that could definitely become the new figurehead of AEW now with some of these injuries. Not to say that Swerve or Adam Cole or Kenny Omega or Will Ospreay will ever come back, but literally we got this shot at the end of Wrestle Dream about a year or so ago when Moxley and everybody in the AEW locker room kind of come out, but yet Moxley and them got away or whatnot, and they literally showed Darby, Orange, Daniel Garcia, and Hook kind of like as they were setting up this whole potential young blood kind of coming into their own and taking over AEW and leading the pack. So this is kind of potentially going to become a full circle type thing if they actually follow through on it. So we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being a thing or not. But yeah, your thoughts on just the future of AEW? Do you think they got enough stars to sustain through these injuries, or do you think they're going to struggle a little bit?
As long as they do, as long as they follow through, like that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And push more of their homegrown guys. Yes, that's what you need to do. That's what they be focusing on. That's what they should have focused on.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it right, yeah, any one of these guys. I don't know about Daniel Garcia. Like I truly don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying in the ring he isn't capable. It's his character.
Mm-hmm.
What am I looking for with Daniel? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could work that out with him. Sure, he'll be just fine. He could be your top guy. So could Hook. We definitely don't know Cassidy can, and obviously Darby can. It's just you have to no more this start and stop shit. If you're gonna go. Especially with a guy like Garcia and Hook.
Yeah, I mean, Garcia's character's got to be more than just the, it's got to be more than that. Which I think it can be. I actually wonder if Garcia could be a guy potentially that could benefit from a heel turn. I kind of wonder if maybe it's just like a change of scenery type thing, and maybe it actually ends up working for him. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if they actually pull that trigger on it. But the way they were kind of building it, they may not. But if he loses again to Moxley after coming this close, literally, that's what Mox said to him this week. This close, potentially it could just drive him over the edge, and he destroys Matt Menard, and we're off to the races. So we'll have to wait and see if that is the case for sure. But yeah, I think it's definitely time for AEW to fulfill that promise of their young stars, and personally feel now is the time to do it and fulfill this tease that you gave us all the way back over a year ago now. So yes, but one thing I did want to mention at the end of with the wrestling stuff at Forbidden Door. Last thing is that in regards to AEW, before we move on, we completely whiffed on the winner of the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. We thought it was probably going to be FTR defeating the Hurt Syndicate and, of course, one of Brodido to take the fall. That was not the case. Brodido actually wins the AEW Tag Team Championships by pinning FTR as the Hurt Syndicate were screwed out of the titles by Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, setting up their feud, which has kind of been a long time coming here after the Hurt Syndicate pretty much embarrassed Ricochet a while back. So yeah, kind of nice to see some new faces with the titles, a new tag team. A little bit, it kind of felt like two guys you could throw together, but with the injury, I believe, to Buddy Matthews and of course Julia Hart kind of going off on her own with the Triangle of Madness. This makes some sense, I think. And of course, even though it was announced officially this last week on Dynamite that CNC Copeland and Cage, or Cope and Cage, whatever you want to call them, will be facing FTR at All Out in Toronto, like we did predict. It just won't be for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. And I don't necessarily think this match does need that. I think you can get by without the titles being involved here. I wouldn't think they would make this match and have FTR win it, per se, especially since they're building up this whole Christian Cage babyface turn from the sounds of it. It's slowly but surely kind of moving into position. At some point, you got to figure Christian Cage is going to come completely back to the light. But I did kind of like there was a spot on Dynamite this week, though, where Christian started talking about FTR's parent or father figures in their life. And of course, Edge or Copeland tried to cut him up. Be like, no, we're not talking about their father. You're being an asshole. And then, of course, the crowd started booing at that. And I like how Cope was just like, you all are a bunch of sickos. All right, fine. And he gave the mic to Cope or Cage, and then Cage was like, yeah, those bitches dead, talking about their dad, like, which is totally what Cage would do. Christian Cage, loves to make fun of in very dark ways the death of maybe other wrestlers' parents or the father in particular. It's kind of part of the shtick. But which, again, so it's kind of him still being a heel, but I think eventually Cope is going to eventually get him to come all the way back to the light, I would think. And maybe that's when they win the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I don't know. That's just kind of my opinion. But so, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the tag match. I think it'll be great. I mean, FTR getting to work with one of the all-time great tag teams. But it's been a long time since they've really, I mean, they tag teamed at Forbidden Door. And hopefully they can kind of build that. And I think their chemistry was still pretty good after all these years. And we know FTR can go. I don't know if it'll be like a Briscoe and FTR situation, but still could be a lot of fun, no doubt. Who do you think will challenge Brodido for the tag team championships in AEW? Any idea?
It would be FTR, but or Young Bucks.
Yeah, you can see that. Trying to.
I mean, who else do they have as a tag team?
Off the top of my head, going, test me here. I mean, obviously they got some tag teams. I don't know if I put them all in world tag team level yet. Obviously, I think Ricochet with Gates of Agony, but that's kind of more like a trios thing right now with the Hurt Syndicate, which makes me again kind of wonder with Ricochet and Gates of Agony facing off against the Hurt Syndicate. I wonder if that means we're going to finally get Cedric Alexander with the Hurt Syndicate here, making that trio, making a 6-man tag. I'm not totally sure if that's going to be the case or not, but that could definitely be something they end up doing. I guess, yeah, you could always do the Young Bucks. Man, I mean, I guess if Kenny and Ibushi, if Kenny could stay healthy and continue to do his thing, I don't know. Maybe you could do that. Kind of kick a little bit of the onus off of Omega in a singles match. Potentially, you could do that. Obviously, Don Callis families, you could mix and match any of those against these guys. So, yeah, there's always that potential as well. So, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Why? That's another question. Mm-hmm. Why not Max Alexander and Don Callis family, the guy they signed from TNA?
Oh, Josh Alexander? Yeah.
Josh Alexander, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Why not him and what's his fucking name?
Archer?
The guy that was part of Aussie Open.
Oh, Mark Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. I mean, especially since him and Kyle Fletcher ain't tagging.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Brian Cage. Yeah, you could do something with Wardlow. Yeah. I mean, Brian Cage and Archer are a tag team. I mean, you could definitely go through trios titles with these guys as well if you want to throw.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Archer's in that group too.
I know it is a lot. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Heenan family way back in the day. A bunch of different people in it, no doubt about it. So in that regard, I get it. But he's no Bobby Heenan, Don Callis, but for sure. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. It just depends. And of course, you got guys like Jet Speed, coming up as well. You got you could always go with Skyflight or some of those tag teams that didn't quite go over so well with like Top Flight or whatnot. I don't think Private Party is still involved in AEW anymore from the sounds of things. So, but yeah, there's potential all the way around for all these different tag teams they're trying to build. And again, it'll be fresh matchups with Brodido, no doubt about it. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for checking out this clip from the Dragon's Den podcast. If you like what you saw here, please consider checking out our full podcast every single Friday night here on the channel, live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Rumble. And until our next video, guys, take care and God bless.